Good evening, everyone. My name is Clyde Elledge. I'm the rector here at St. Andrews. It's my absolute pleasure to welcome you here tonight to the Good Friday cantata, Bob Frankie's Passion. I want to just offer up a couple of things before we get going here. First of all, this is, for all intents and purposes, this is our primary Good Friday observance, our Good Friday service. It is a religious service, and as such, we should refrain from clapping. If you want to offer a Thanksgiving, I would imagine let's do that now and just say thanks to the entire chorus and musicians and everyone for all the work that they've done. You know, I've spent the last 11 years, this is my 11th year witnessing this, and I'm still trying to wrap my head around it and wrap my imagination around it so that I can describe it to you all. It's just really hard to describe. There's so many factors in this that are just so unique. And the incredible thing that I would just share with you is that this has been a part of the spiritual DNA of this parish for 40 years. And I mean spiritual DNA in that a lot of people gain so much of their insight and their connection with God through this kind of this event specifically. And in that matter, that makes it a holy enterprise. So I invite you tonight to enter into the holy. Open up yourself. Listen to the stories, whether they're from Pilate or the centurion or the woman who takes photographs or whoever it is, and know that your own story is in this as well. Our pain, our frustration, our patience, our impatience, all of it boils down to a light shining in the darkness that dispels all of that. And it came from a man named Jesus over 2,000 years ago. We give thanks for that now. But on the way to Easter, we endure the cross. So I present to you now Bob Frankie's Good Friday cantata.
When the grandmothers saw the Lord in his glory, they leaned out their windows and said, and heard, "Hosanna to the Son of David. How blessed is the Son of Man. How nice for his mother," they said as they turned. They waited for news of the Messiah to sink in their bones. Then hearts leapt in memories too slow for anything but tears. They whispered, but their children were not listening. They'll kill him for sure. Oh God, they'll kill him for sure.
I say, surely the darkness will cover me. Darkness is not dark to you, O Lord. To you the night is as bright as
Out of the house of bondage, mother screams echoed in the night. But you led us from this country in a holy flight. Bloody doorways, a mighty hand contending with the angels of doom. And a voice that said, go quickly in each and every room. Roll away the waters. Roll away the waters. Roll away the waters once again. What we took is what we carried. What we dropped was left behind. For scavengers of sacrifice to find. Second-born armies at our heels, screaming in pain for our blood. And a march of men and horses to drive us to the flood. Roll away the water. Roll away the waters. Roll away the
last gift to you, my own peace. Now I leave with you, peace which the world cannot give, I give to you. I give you a new commandment, love one another as I have loved you. Peace is my last gift to you, my own peace. Now I leave with you, peace which the world cannot give, I give to you. By this shall the world know that you are my disciples, that you have love for one another. Peace is my last gift to you, my own peace. Now I leave with you, peace which the world cannot give, I give to you. Peace is my last gift to you, my own peace. Now I leave with you, peace which the world cannot give, I give to you.
What a pity about this man Jesus. He'd have made such a perfect king if it wasn't for me when we entered Jerusalem. Never heard those loud hosannas ring. A man who had such power, stones could turn to bread for him to eat. He kept talking about his Father's words, as if words could help him on the street. What a pity about this man Jesus. He'd have made such a perfect king if he'd listened to me when we entered Jerusalem. The holy city would have given him anything. I told him to cast his fate to the wind, that the angels were on his side. He told me the angels themselves had fallen when they tempted the Lord in their pride.
The holiday supper went well.
The holiday supper was a disaster.
Jesus' awareness was complete.
The disciples hardly knew what was going on.
Once again, God showed his unfailing love in a radical new way.
Human beings blew it again.
The Messiah was betrayed according to Scripture.
Judas was condemned by his own will.
God's plan unfurled itself.
Nothing felt good.
All my life has led up to this moment. I can see this night as clear as day. On this cup lies the mask of death. Father, take this cup away. Where are you? Father, stay with me. Where are you? Brother, stay with me. In this garden, my brothers sleep, and I'm weary to the bone. While my Father his counsel keeps, and I feel all alone. Where are you? Father, stay with me. Where are you? Brothers, pray with me. This silence can go so quickly by me as I stare into the jaws of death. But if you want my obedience, Father, then I'll give you my very last breath. Where are you? Father, stay with me. Where are you? Brothers, pray with me. Where are you? Father, stay with me. Where are you? Brothers, pray with me.
Angels came and ministered to him. But if friends can sometimes look like angels, perhaps angels can sometimes look like friends.
God picked a flower
and again. God healed the sick ones, the deaf, the blind, gave hope to the hopeless and troubled mind, gave me a reason for goodness and kindness, and made me a fisher of men. My work with no surprises was all the world I could see. God opened up my eyes and gave a new world to me. God gives hope and he loves surprise, and loves a man who might fail but tries. I know his face and I've seen his eyes. God is where you are.
Denial, now. The refusal to admit the truth of a statement, charge, etc. The contrary of affirmation.
No, I never will forsake you, Lord. You think I'd let you down like a coward or a clown? No, 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 wherever they may take you, Lord. Don't you know that I'll be there? Don't you know I really care? When you walked on the water, Lord, I walked on water too. Except for my lack of faith, I almost made it to you. You took me by the hand, you didn't let me drown. After all you've done for me, may I think I'd let you down? After all you let me know of your wonder and your power, do you think I'd leave you now in your dark and evil hour? No, 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 not me. I never knew the man. No!
Hello, who are you? I'm Pilate, the hand of imperial Rome. I can see you're a Jew, but what did you do to make all these clergymen foam? I can truly believe you're a prince of your race. I have never yet seen such an innocent face. But dear King of the Jews, I am sick of this place. If you want, you can have my throne. Will I ever get back to Rome? Hello, Mr. King. I'm Pilate. I'd so like to let you go free. You're a good man, I know, and the cross is so slow, but it's not my religion, you see. And the clergymen here think you're someone to fear, and the rabble that loved you have turned a deaf ear. But remember, I'm only the governor here, and nobody listens to me. For the sake of the state, it must be. The Herods expect us at 3.
Go ahead. Call me a survivor. I suppose that fits. If I wasn't a survivor, I'd be dead by now, that's for sure. But the longer I live, the more curious the soul dream becomes as a method of staying alive. At first, it seems simple enough. You're hungry. There's no food. You go where they feed you. At the least, and there's always plenty of the least, you have a better chance of stealing someone. You're with a bunch of guys led by a tough old bastard who makes sure that everybody gets their share. I'll admit that swearing allegiance to the emperor in Rome might be complicated there, but out here, it's just a matter of trying not to get killed and making sure that Caesar gets his, whoever Caesar is at the time. And trying not to get killed, after all, is nothing more than attacking the problem of survival directly. But then sometimes there's no food to steal, and you get to see some of your comrades treated like so much meat while you're doing the same to some poor Jew. Then you get used to throwing up as an occupational hazard. And then the ghosts begin to crowd around, and you spend as much time fighting dead men as you do fighting the living. And then all of a sudden, you're the tough old bastard who makes sure all the men get their share, only they're not men. They're kids who look like your own memories and who would deserve better if this were a world of deserving. This is definitely not a world of deserving. Allow me that we are not questioning each other's loyalty if we agree that Pilate and Judea don't deserve one another. I am loyal to Pilate. If I prefer Judea, it's because I relate better to a man who fears me than the one who sees me solely as someone with a talent for distastefulness. Kill or be killed, I could understand. But for me, the trappings of authority mean that I must crucify or be crucified. Allow me to hate the man that I'm loyal to. It's only military etiquette after all. Pilate understands. This procession has been different from the others in a way. It's because of him, the King of the Jews. Why anyone would want to be King of the Jews is something I'll never understand. We couldn't help laughing at it at the barracks. But this is even a simple treason case. The man never pretended to have an army, and as far as attitude towards Caesar, he could just as well have been under my command. It's nothing so clean as treason. It's a religious matter. From all I can tell, it's the same old story of the pious not liking to be shown clearly what they are. A pious man will kill to avoid that revelation, unless, of course, he has a convenient civil authority with a nice sense of diplomacy to take it off his hands. I hear that Pilate washed his, no less. I guess that makes me the murderer. Me and the youngsters. By the time we got to the skull, he'd lost a lot of blood with the beatings and all. We laid him out on the cross, and the boy with the mallet and the spikes was trying to nail him up and making a mess of it. Above the wrist! I shouted, but he got the position right, but He just didn't have the heart for it, blubbering all over and causing his prisoner even more pain than Caesar required. Then the king spoke to the boy. "Hold the mallet from the end of the handle. Are there no carpenters in Caesar's army?" He was as weak as a kitten and on his way to slow death, but he handled that boy better than I ever could, and maybe that's why I broke. If we knew how to be carpenters, do you think we'd be so keen on this God-forsaken work, you bloody fool? Then so help me, he laughed. And tears filled his eyes, and tears filled mine, but not so many that I couldn't take the mallet and do the job right. Later, I heard him praying to his father, asking him to forgive us. I've never been comforted by my victim before, and I've never seen that kind of freedom in a man so close to death. I am ignorant of spiritual politics, so I can't tell you whose king he was. But he died God's son. You can have my money on that, even if it's only a soldier's pay.
Harry the man at the newsstand laughed, 'cause he wasn't the kind to cough. Those Canadian quarters ain't worth as much. They're almost a nickel off. With the Times in my hand, I looked at the man who would never look back again and said, "Harry, the president should hire you to find all the money the government spends." He said, "Thanks all the same, but the government's claim on me ended back in my teens. And I didn't get killed, but I hadn't no skills but to carry an M16. And with no use to find for a boy who was blind, the governor loosed up funds, and the words when I heard 'em was almost as sweet as to cover the sound of the guns. Now the mayor's my man as I work at the stand on the steps of City Hall. And he tips me Canadian quarters, you know. I can tell when I hear 'em fall. When I roll down this shade, the Times must be paid for with money from Uncle Sam. So I'll take every nickel that's rightfully mine, but don't tell me whose blind man I am." So I tipped him $1 to cover my shame, but I've never been back for news. I get all my papers at the State House from Eddie. He's been there since World War II.
We are, in this century, no strangers to crucifixion. When we deny our capacity both for love and for anger, when we turn our backs on our true selves, when we wash our hands of responsibility for our connectedness, we give to ourselves and to each other a slow asphyxiation, not unlike the one humankind gave to Jesus for facing himself squarely. And yet, even at the moment of despair, the cross is a good place to look for God.
She died on the interstate instantly, 70 miles an hour. She didn't quite make the exit and stop like a rock. Her critics replied that she died at the height of creative power, but decided her death and her pictures were marred by heavy dependence on shock. She could handle a camera like no one I ever knew. Her research was in shadow and stopped the things that to go past, to fast for a normal view, and never condemned me, never looked away in fear. Can you know how it feels to lose sight of such eyes in the night as a vision unblinded by tears? I never did trust her the first couple weeks. It was just a job, moving her goddamn lights with her stained little hands. I sit there and wait as it patiently seeks out of soul to rot. And I think I've escaped till shows me this guy, and I cry as I see as he stands. She could handle a camera like no one I ever knew. Her research was in shadow and stopping the things that go past too fast for a normal view. And she never condemned me, never looked away in fear. Can you know how it feels to lose sight of such eyes in the night, or a vision unblinded by tears? I think she used me as a passport to take me though. She taught me light as we drove through the night of her heart. She never abused my emotions, she never refused to go. And I never managed to break through her drama, a prisoner that's playing my part. But she could handle a camera like no one I ever knew. Her research was in shadow and stopping the things that go past too fast for a normal view. But she never condemned me, never looked away in fear. Can you know how it feels to lose sight of such eyes in the night, or of that unblinded by tears? They say she was married, didn't matter much to me though. She used to come and have coffee when she was alone. She never did talk much. She smoked cigarettes and that's how she had to be. On the road in an instant to leave me to mourn for the only real woman I've known. But she handled the camera like no one I ever knew. Her research was in shadow and stopping the things that go past and fast for a normal view. But she never condemned me, never once looked away in fear. Can you see how it feels to lose sight of such eyes in the night, or a vision unblinded by tears? This place ain't the worst, but I've heard a better. Few mistakes I made gave them the law and the letter, so they put me here. What do judges know but their fear of death? Did they know I was a bastard? I was a saint of the church. I did for my lover and I did good work. I worked for my children and my self-respect, and the nectar of life never left my tongue. Forever young, my children think me no more human. They're afraid of my shit. They seem to forget that I put up with theirs. I was a saint of God till he left me to this, buried alive and betrayed by a kiss. What do children know but their fear of death? Did they know I was a bastard? I was a saint of the church. I did for my lover and I did good work. I worked for my children and my self-respect, and the nectar of life never left my tongue. Forever young. My last long lover is 10 years gone. The fears of my friends are not fantasies. They die in no particular order. I cry out for justice, but the orderlies prefer not to hear. They call me crazy, but they fear death. Do they know I was a bastard? I was a saint of the church. I did for my lover and I did good work. I worked for my children and my self-respect, and the nectar of life never left my tongue. Forever young.
reminisce. I remember the shame that brought me down to this. They run from my anger and leave me to hate. It's too late for them to hear, but I do not fear death. Do they know I was a bastard? I was a saint of the church. I did good work. I worked for my children and my self-respect, and the nectar of life never left my tongue. Forever young.
God is in the greatest suffering. God knows what it's like to die.
To